Okay. So with this handout, simple sentence, we know the simple sentence is just code for complete correct sentence, a subject, a verb, it expresses a complete thought. You guys see that formula here, okay? So this handout will just review, remind you of what we've learned. It gives you several examples similar to the examples we saw in the presentation. So we have one here. They lay out subject, verb, expresses a complete thought. They also break down what we learned in the presentation, even if it's a compound subject or a compound predicate, it's still expressing a single thought. That's what makes it a simple sentence. So it kind of takes you through all of that. Compound sentence, you guys remember what we learned? It's connected by a um, conjunction, our fanboys. So as you are looking at the sentence samples and you're asked to identify whether it is a simple, compound, complex, or compound complex sentence, you kind of have clues. There are clear identifiers that can help you with identifying the compound sentence. You're looking for your comma and conjunction. If you see that comma and conjunction, and what's on either side of it is a single idea. So this is one complete idea. This is another complete idea. What you're looking at is a compound sentence. This is what you guys create when you correct your run-on sentences. You took a sentence error and you improved it by creating a compound sentence. So just kind of know um, what I call those identifiers. For complex sentence, you guys remember it is a combination of dependent plus independent clause. So a complete thought attached to, let's say, a fragment plus complete thought. This is what you guys normally create when you correct your fragment sentences. Normally you correct it, or one way to correct fragment is to connect the fragment, the dependent clause, to an independent clause in the sentence. So to kind of know those rules, or to know those definitions, right? The formula is what'll help you guys with this homework assignment. So where we just talked about fanboys, these are our um, coordinating conjunctions. Here we have subordinating conjunctions. So I'm glad they gave a little list, because these are also identifiers. When you see them, you know that what you may be looking at is a complex sentence. So make sure you guys are reviewing that. Um, After eating lunch at the Cheesecake Factory, this is a dependent clause. It's attached to the dependent portion. Tim went to the gym to exercise. The subordinating conjunction is what makes this comma look legal and connects the two, connects the dependent to the independent, making it a complex sentence. So you guys kind of have to run it through those tests. Just like we learned with the compound complex, it breaks those down. And then you guys have here the opportunity to practice. So these, I believe it, these 8 sentences, you guys are identifying them as compound, complex, simple, or compound complex. Okay. It says, please underline dependent clauses where it applies. I don't know if I need to add that extra step. Okay. Um, if you have to, in looking for dependent clauses, if you feel the need to underline anything, that might be an indicator it's a complex sentence, or it's either a compound complex. But anytime we see a dependent clause, it is ding, 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 clear indication that this is either complex or it is a compound complex. It'll kind of be up to you to take it through the test. So let's do one together just really quickly before I kind of move this over into the homework pile. Um, so let's look at one. Let's do one together really quickly, you guys. Vampire Diaries is my favorite television show, but I also love True Blood. Just based on what you remember, is this a simple, compound, complex, or compound complex statement? What do you guys think? Look, and don't be scared of guesses. I'm okay with guesses as well. What do you guys think? Let me see. So I see complex. Now, the only thing that we want to keep in mind when we see complex is we want to look and see, do we have any subordinating conjunctions? Because complex is normally characterized with those subordinating conjunctions, which they give you a small list here, as well as a independent clause. So complex is dependent plus independent. And what we have here is Vampire Diaries is my favorite television show. This is independent. It can stand alone. We have our subject, we have a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. Here we have, I also love True Blood. So we have also another complete idea. Subject I, love is our verb, it expresses a complete thought. So we have two complete ideas connected with a comma and conjunction. So what type of sentence is this? That's compound. That is correct, Sam. This is a compound statement. And what makes it a compound statement, you guys, look at the comma and conjunction. That is the identifying characteristic of a compound sentence, comma and conjunction. Remember, fanboys. So keep in mind with compound, here's normally when I study or when I review things, I kind of group them together in my mind. So that's how, how I may sometimes study things. So I'll say compound, and then I'll group compound with an idea that helps me to remember it and to study it. So anytime I think of compound, I'll think of fanboys. Is there a for or nor? Well, I'm sorry, I messed that up. For and nor, but, or yet so. Do I see any of those conjunctions in a comma? If so, ding, 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 that's a compound sentence. So we see here, we have a comma and we have one of our fanboys. In addition to that, we have independent plus independent. That's another formula for compound. So it's checked off all the boxes that we know or that we understand to be compound. Okay, so it's okay if we guessed and got that wrong. It'll just simply mean before you go to answer the questions, take a look at the definition, at the samples. This will definitely help guide you guys in the right direction. Okay, so number one, you guys, is a freebie. That's compound. So make sure you guys have that, and then you'll take the weekend. You can come in. You can, now this, you guys can email me. Look, let me say it. This can be emailed. I'm not creating an assignment for this in Brightspace. So you can feel free to, in a body of an email, you can type number one, compound sentence, number two, whatever you think it is, email that to me. You can also jot it down on paper, take a picture, send it to me. But I'm okay with you guys emailing this assignment to me, and I'll put that in Brightspace. It's only 8 questions. So I don't anticipate this should take up too much of your time. So in addition to the sentence types and reviewing your graded work, your essay, number one, and making any revisions or improvements. That's part of the homework. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm clear on that expectation. All right, I think I just saw something come into chat. Oh, look, that's okay, Caesar. All right, you guys, moving on from this. Did we have any questions? Did you guys have any questions about this assignment? I think it's pretty straightforward. All right, I'm gonna move on. Let me go back to the module. All right, so we're going ahead and moving into the second thing I have planned today. We've kind of exhausted updates. I've laid out the homework up front because we're going to kind of end the class with the journal, but make sure you guys are aware of the homework expectation. All right. Today, we are starting first, what I call setup of our e-portfolios. You guys know that this particular assignment is worth 30% of your final grade. Not to add any anxiety or anything, but just to make sure that we're all on the same page about the importance of the final portfolio. And in order for final portfolios to be submitted and graded, they have to follow, certain requirements. So that's why we're going to go through the portfolio setup together. Uh, one of the requirements is that it has to be complete, in that you have to have all of the required components, not only to submit, but also for your portfolio to be scored. So really quickly, hold on, let me jot this down. You guys know that the diagnostic writing that you guys completed week 1, where you read Jason Oda's misspelling the word of, and then you wrote about it, that is a required component for the portfolio. Okay, so I'm going to call that the diagnostic / expectation letter. Only reason I'm adding that is because some instructors, they call it, instead of calling it a diagnostic, they call it the expectation letter. So I'm just going to make that clear for other instructors who may be scoring your portfolio. So one required component that we're going to set up today is the page for our diagnostic / expectation essay. Another required component of the final portfolio is a revised essay. And it can be any essay that you guys choose. That's why I even gave the Sandra Cisneros as an option. But we know for sure that we have essay 1 as an option. So a revised essay based on a reading. So it has to be based on a reading. And it has to have gone through the revision process. It has been revised. So that is a required component. Another required component of the ePortfolio is going to be the Crt essay. Okay, even though we don't have this ready now to add, when you guys complete the Crt and submit that document, you'll have an additional step of also uploading that document to your portfolio. So we'll talk about that when the time nears, but the Crt essay, final Crt essay, that essay question will go into your final portfolio. And lastly, the reflective essay. That's kind of what we're working on now. In what ways have you grown and developed as a reader, writer, and critical thinker? So there are a total of 4 documents that goes into our final ePortfolio. Okay, again, let me just state them again. The diagnostic, the 1 revised essay based on a reading, the Crt essay, so that's going to be the essay you write in response to the test, and the reflective essay, currently what we're working on building. Okay, so we're in a good spot. Before, of course, we add these documents, this is why I'm sending you guys over the weekend to make any final corrections, improvements to your essay 1 based on that feedback. But today, we are going to just build the ePortfolio shell, okay? So let me show you guys something really quickly. Can we all together on our computers, can we all together go to our Brightspace course page? Let me go back, sorry. Just want to get us all on the same page, because as I'm walking through the steps of this in real time, I want students to be completing it. So let's all start together on the same page. Are you guys all looking at your English 96 Brightspace course page? If not, I'll take a couple minutes for you guys to get here. Give me a yes or a thumbs up, or drop something in chat when we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Okay, I hear you. Okay. Okay, I heard Rabia, and I got my few in chat. Who have I not heard from? What about Jacob? Are we on the same page? Mia, Jamia. Did I see? Yes, Giselle says yes. MJ, are we all on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good, good. All right, 'cause I don't want to move on until we're all here. All right, awesome. All right. As you guys will see on this page, there's a small little house in the upper left corner next to the course title. If you guys will click on that house, it says My Home. We click there. Okay. So you should see a screen that now you guys it'll look different depending on the number of courses you have, but what should come up is a list of the current courses that you are registered in. So you guys see that? Okay, from here, we go to My Brightspace and we click this arrow drop down. You see there's an option that says ePortfolio. So you want to click on ePortfolio. Now I've been playing with it so much that I got several here. Um, but are we all here at the page, at the ePortfolio page? Or if I'm moving too fast, maybe you guys will just make sure you stop me or slow me down. That way I don't have to wait every time to say, are we all on the same page? Okay. So from this page over here, hold on, let me use my annotation. You'll see an area where it says build your ePortfolio. This is the step that we are embarking on now. Okay. You are going to click on new presentation. There's a terminology in Brightspace where the e-portfolios are called e-portfolio presentations. Okay. So just kind of keep those two things in your head together. In building a portfolio, we click on new presentation. Okay.
Can you go back real quick?
Sure.
I didn't see where you. So I'm on the page where it says what class I'm in, and then where do I go?
Okay. Let me go back. You'll go to
Oh,
My Brightspace.
okay.
You'll click that drop down and you'll go to e-portfolio.
We got it.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And then from there, you'll click on new presentation under build your ePortfolio. Okay. So we should be on a page here that says new presentation. Right. So from this page on name, here is what you guys are going to name your portfolios. Okay. So you can put here, you can say, let's say, look, I'll just use Giselle as an example. You can put Giselle Ramirez's English 96 portfolio. Okay. You can name it what you want to name it, but make sure somewhere in that name is your full name. So you can say, Mylan, or you can put MJ, Capers, English 96 portfolio. But give me first and last name and however you would like to preface or title your portfolio. Okay. The only uniformity I want us to have is that you include your first and last name. And that's just in case I have more than one um, student with that name. So to avoid that confusion, first and last name, you can put English 96 portfolio, you can put ARC portfolio, but in this portion, include first and last name. Let me go through it with you guys. Okay. Once you guys do that, move down to description. And in description, give me your student ID number.
Where can we find our student ID number?
Hold on, MJ. I'm thinking.
Because I know I could find it like in my email. I think I know they emailed me my student ID at the beginning of the semester, but I don't remember it from back then.
Thinking. I don't know where you guys get. I mean, I guess if you go to navigate, it normally is attached to your ID, but I know we haven't been on campus. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I'm pausing just 1 second because let me see, is there a way that I can see it on my end? So hold on 1 second. Let me go. Sometimes when I'm checking like student engagement, I'm able to see when students check into the class, when was the last time they've checked into a class. There's normally a page that gives me the student name and their student ID number. So let's see if I can.
I found mine. I don't know if the rest
Oh, you
of the
did? You found it?
there.
Where'd you find it at?
My email.
Okay. All right, you guys. So maybe check your emails. But if you struggle, if you can't, just pause, put a flag down, not sure my student ID number, and we can pause on this portion. You can come back and add it. But if you don't know it, don't know where to find it, we'll just leave it blank for now. But, hold on. All right, let me come back and share with you guys. That student ID number has to be included. As a scoring instructor, so I'm scoring other English 96 courses. If I have a portfolio without a student ID, I can't score it because the first field in the electronic rubric is what is that student ID number? And it won't let you do anything else until you insert that student ID number. So ePortfolios without student ID numbers cannot be graded. So that's the importance of making sure you have your student ID number added in this portion. Okay, let me go back to where we were. So we said with our name. Okay. So again, to reiterate, full name in the title, in the description, student ID number. Also, give me again the class and section. So you can do English, 96. This is section DF. So drop that in the description. So make sure that is added and that's included. Okay. So from that, let's click save. All right. Now, so now that we kind of have that information added, let's click here on banner. So the banner title is kind of similar to what we did with name. So you can, again, on the banner title, you can say, let's say, I'll put Alita's final ePortfolio. And under banner description, again, class section. I know you guys are like, how many times? Do we need to add this? It's good to have it in several different places. So class section, English 96, section DF. Add that again. And then we save. Okay. One last thing in setting that up, let's go to theme. Click on theme. Look, am I moving too fast?
Could you go back one more time?
Yeah, let me go back to banner. And it says the banner is going to appear at the top of every page of the presentation. Use it to identify your presentation for users and provide an optional description. So this is just, again, we're just reiterating the information to make it very clear, because the person who will be clicking on your ePortfolio and scoring it, all of the information that they'll need in order to score is your name. Well, do they need your name? Well, we're going to add the name, but they definitely need student ID number and they need class and section. So we add that, make sure it's clear and easily identifiable. So you add that. We added it once under properties. Let me go back just to show you guys we added it here, and we added again under banner. Okay. So are we good here?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go on to theme. Now, theme allows you to get a tad bit more, add a little bit more individuality to your portfolio. So you can pick color theme, you can kind of pick certain options of what you want that, your portfolio to, the aesthetic nature of it, how you want it to look. You can pick one. So take a look at the various options and you can individualize your portfolio by selecting a theme, okay? So once you guys do that for whatever you pick, let me see, I think I may go with jumble. So once you select your theme, it's going to ask you to confirm it. And then it gives you a slight picture of what that looks like up top. Okay. So are we all in the same spot with theme?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now click so far with what we've completed. Click here where it says view presentation. So it'll allow you to look at what you've done so far. So click on view presentation and you see the information. Why doesn't it have my name information? Hold on, let me get rid of my. All right, let me click out of this. Let's go back to banner. Only because from that particular view, I wasn't able to see student ID number. Add in banner description. Let's add your student ID number. It's okay if we still have it in properties, because I know properties is going to be that final readout sheet. So it's good and useful there. But when we look at it, what I want it to be readily identifiable. So let's go back to banner and go into banner description, and where you added the class and section, add for me again your student ID number. And then once you do that, hit save. And then I'm going to just check one more again, once more, let me see. So yeah, so I know that in addition to all of that information, it would also include your student ID right up top, easily identifiable for the scorer, okay? This doesn't look so attractive. Look, if I want to go back and change my theme, I may go back and change my theme. So you guys have a little bit of freedom. I don't know how I'm feeling about this jumble. Let me go with read. So you guys see we're kind of playing with it. I might like this a little bit better. Okay. So are you guys able to kind of view your presentation, kind of take a look at the information you have so far? Do you see clearly the title that you gave it, along with class and section and student ID number? Okay. All right, are we all, have we all selected a theme?
Yeah.
Okay. There are times when I really miss being in the classroom. You know, I can normally read students' faces, even if they say nothing. I can tell if a student is confused. I can tell if they may not be sure of what they're doing. So this, I feel a little bit lost because I'm depending on you guys telling me. And even if I don't hear from all of you, I'm just assuming that everything is okay. So with that, you guys see how here in this left column, it starts what will be the table of contents for your ePortfolio. So with the 4 components that we talked about just a moment ago, that diagnostic, that revised essay 1, CRT essay, and the reflective essay, for each document, you need to create a page that you will attach that file once we start that portion of it. But today we are going to start to add the pages for each required component for the portfolio, okay? So if you guys have added to your banner class section, student ID number, please do not forget that. It could impede on you getting your portfolio scored. Make sure you guys have that, okay? And a good way to always look at your progress is you can go here to view portfolio. View presentation. All right, so I'm going back to properties. I'm sorry, I'm going to content and layout. Let's go to content and layout. This is where we set up the pages that I was just telling you about. Okay. So are you guys with me on content and layout?
Yes.
All right. So 2 ways to add the table of contents or the pages that we will be attaching our documents. One way is you can click this new page button here, or you can click new page here. So you have, wait a minute, is that my other way? Edit page layout. All right, I'm playing around with things. Don't touch what I just hit. Let's go here to page, to this white. You guys kind of see this image here of this page. You click on it, and what it allows you to do is set up the first page, or setting up your table of contents for your ePortfolio. So on this first page, we are going to label it as that diagnostic. I'll do a / expectation letter. And the only reason that I add that is some instructors call it expectation letter, some call it diagnostic, so that there is no confusion. I'd use both just so they know what document will be housed here. So this is the first page, diagnostic expectation letter. Do not, the page name will still appear in the navigation panel if the panel is used on the page. Do not show the page name at the top of this page. Yeah, we're not clicking any of these because we want the name to show, and we want it to show in the navigation panel as well. So all you're doing on this page is adding that first name, that first required component, diagnostic expectation letter, okay? And once we do that, we click save. So you'll see in the content area, diagnostic expectation letter, okay? So do we all have diagnostic expectation letter page complete?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, thank you, MJ. Anybody else? Do we all, which I know, before I move on, thumbs up me, give me a yes in the comments or a C. Let me know what you, if we're all clear on this. Okay, so I'll take the silence that we may be all on the same page. Okay, let me hit here. We're creating another page because we know that there are 4 components in the ePortfolio. So we're going to create 4 pages. So we go here, we're clicking that button again, new page. And this page, we're naming revised essay. I'm just trying to think of, do I want to just leave it at revised essay? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Revised essay. Let's call it revised essay sample. No. Okay, we're taking sample out. Sorry, Miss Cole is confused. I'm trying to think about how to name it. But if we have to change the name at all, I'm thinking of what will my colleagues call this. It's revised essay. Oh, okay, my bad, you guys. Revised essay sample. If we need to make any changes, I'll come back and notify us. But from there, we don't check any boxes and we click save. So we see that added here, okay? We go and we're adding another page. So we click new page. And here we are going to put CRT essay. Clearly indicating that this is the essay based on the reading from that final CRT. Every ARC course is using the same article. Every student is writing an essay in response to it, and we're including that in our portfolio here. So once you add CRT essay, you will click save. Okay, and you guys see here under pages, you see it building up. Okay, from here I'm going to click new page once more because we have one last required component, and that is that reflective and once again we hit save. So with this, we are building the table of contents for the portfolio. So now that I've added it, I go back, let me look at view my presentation and see where, okay, so you guys can see it here. I may need to go back in and get rid of that new page. But for the sake of an example, you guys see clearly there is a page for the diagnostic. There's a page for a revised essay based on the reading. So again, students, I've kind of given you guys the option. You can use the education and motivation one. You can also, if you feel that the Sandra Cisneros, should parents hold different expectations for sons and daughters, if you wanted to use that, whichever version, kind of let me know if you're going to use the Sandra Cisneros so I can give you feedback that you can then revise, or, so you can have the revised version here. But you guys have options. That CRT essay, that'll be written on the day of the in-class CRT. And then we have that reflective essay. Okay, so you want to make sure you see them over in the table of contents to your left. All right, so are we looking at the same thing, you guys? Now with that new page, it may just bother me. So I may go in and get rid of this just because I don't really need it. So you guys see how here, let me show you one more time. When I go to my presentation, it gives me this new page, and it's just kind of there. It's not labeled. I don't need it for anything. So I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm clicking delete right there on new page, and I'm going to delete.
For the I have a question for the
Sure.
banner. Do we make up a title?
Yeah, now as far as the banner title, you guys can get, what can I say? Creative in terms of, maybe like your nickname, like I know with Sam and MJ. So if you want to maybe put MJ's portfolio, or, you can be here a little bit more informal, okay? But where that banner description is, still make sure you're including that section and student ID, because even if I'm not able to get a good read of full and first name here, that student ID will leave no mistake. So I gotta make sure I have that. But as far as that title, Rabia, yeah, you can make it whatever you want it to be. That is what shows up. And let me show you here. That's what shows up here. So that's what this is where it will go when you are putting in your banner title. So it's front and center. So you can personalize it. I'm okay with that. But under properties, and that means when you share it, the information that'll come attached with when you share this with me so that I can score it, give me first and last name on that properties title, okay, where it says name. That's the only difference. Under properties, full name, again, student ID and section. Under banner, you can title it whatever you want to title it, just as long as you still, again, give me that section and student ID number. Okay. All right, so you guys see how I got rid of that new page identifier that I had. So now it's clean. It has the title, no mistake about what class this portfolio represents, no mistake about the student ID number. I have it clear so that we can score and make sure we attach the results properly to the correct student. Have all of that information. Then for not only you who will be adding the information to your portfolio, because here's the catch with this ePortfolio. While I can walk you through the steps, I'm not able to see what the student sees on their end. So when we go to upload the documents, I can walk you through how to do it, but you guys are responsible for doing it. There is no way that I can, oh, if you're like, oh, Miss Cole, I forgot to add my CRT essay. Can you add it for me? I'm not able to add anything to your ePortfolios. Only you guys can upload and add the information to your own ePortfolios. So please know that. Okay, so we want to clearly label those pages. What you guys see here are the required components for the ePortfolio. And what we'll be doing next week is we're going to start adding those documents. The diagnostic expectation letter, you guys should be able to add this now, because you don't have to make any more changes to it. There's nothing else that needs to happen to it. So it's good to add now. That revised essay sample, you guys are kind of working on any last tweaks this weekend. You may even have time a little bit next week to make additional improvements if you see fit. But before you add it, you want to make sure you're adding that first draft that you guys submitted as well as the revised. So there will be 2 documents that'll go under this. They'll want to see that first draft that you guys submitted, and they'll want to see the revised, because they want to see a story of growth and development. That's what the whole portfolio is really about. So you'll add 2 documents here. So we'll talk about that next week. But let me go back out. Let's go to content and layout. Here, let's go to diagnostic. Where it says add component, you guys see how on each page, let's click 2 on revised essay sample. On each page, you have what is called a content area, and you are supposed to add that file or document under that content area. So let me go back up to diagnostic. But let me click here under add component. This is where you are setting up to add that document to this page. So I'm clicking on add component. Now, oh my goodness, mine is going to look different from yours because I haven't submitted a lot of assignments. But let's say, what do you guys see when you click on add component? Is there anyone who's seeing something different from what I have on my screen, which you should? Do you guys see anything? Explain for me, someone, what do you see on your end? Do you see the select the type of content to add? Do you have an option of artifact, reflection, or learning objection from a collection? What are your options? What do you guys see?
I see the same thing that's on your screen.
Also, you see the exact same thing. Good. Okay. Let's click on, let me click on artifact. Let's click on artifact. So mine says no artifacts exist. Do you guys see anything when you click on artifact?
No.
Okay, let me come out. Let's click on artifact, reflection, or learning objective from a collection. Let me click on this. There are no collections. Do you guys see anything there?
No.
Okay. Let me come out. Let me go to artifacts or reflections by learning objective. Let me see if I do diagnostic. Where it says select a learning objective, type in diagnostic and see if you get any search results.
No.
Okay, don't worry. I think before we can add them, we need to first unlock our options. So that is another portion of the presentation. So let me go there. Now, before I move out of this, do we all have the 4 pages table of contents added? If you see you have all 4, we can come over here and click close. And that takes us out.
Well, can you go back one more time? Real quick, 2 seconds.
I was under, hold on, will it let me go back? It does, awesome. And then, now what was the question?
I just wanted to make sure I had them. You good?
Okay, so you got all 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. We all should be looking at the exact same thing on our screens. If you guys have anything different, now's the time to let me know. Because next week we're moving on to adding the components, the artifacts. They either refer to them as artifacts or items. But what you've completed in Brightspace is normally housed under artifacts. So you'll have to go and look for the diagnostic. You may have to go and look for the revised essay, but we'll do it together. So right now, let's pause, making sure we at least have set up our ePortfolio shell. And that's what will show up there. So I'm clicking on it just one more time, just to kind of show what we are walking away with having completed today. So you selected your theme, whatever color scheme you have a clear banner title that identifies whose portfolio it is, class and section, along with student ID. And then we have a page for each of the required components. So normally, if I was scoring this, when I would click on diagnostic expectation letter, there would be a file in here. There would be a document. When I would click on revised essay sample, there'll be 2 documents. There'll be your first draft and there'll be your revised version. So I'll have those both. When you complete that reflective essay, when I click on this, I should see that document added. So that is how we will build this portfolio. Okay, so we have the setup done. Good, relatively easy, right? This is new for all of us. So you guys see how I'm asking to, I'm kind of feeling my way around as well. Let me go back to our course really quickly, because I want to go to the documents I added to module 12. If you had any issues or problems with any step that we took in setting up the shell or setting up our ePortfolio, I have these step-by-step instructions here. So let's say if we're doing I have it both in written form and also have it in visual form in the PowerPoint presentation. But let me look here. Now that we've kind of knocked out, I think we've worked out the first 6 steps, if I'm not mistaken, on this. Oh, so we've gone right here to, now this is, now keep in mind too, you guys, they are, the sample they're using here is from a 101. So some of the stuff it'll say, like you see essay packet A, essay packet B, that reflects what they're doing in 101. So it's going to be different in with our class. So just kind of keep in mind with, we're doing ARC, we only have 1 essay sample, whereas the English 101 class, they have 2 essays that they include in their portfolio. All right. So we've kind of gone through all of this together. Good. They give good instructions in terms of what is the word? Sharing the portfolio, because even though you may go through and do this on your end, it's still up to the student to share it with the instructor in order for them to view it and score it. So it's not just enough that we create it, we add the documents. You then have to take it a step further and share it. So all of those steps are here, but let me go again to the presentation. I think that may be clearer. Before we can add components, we have to first upload them. So that's the step that I missed, where I was just asking you guys to click on the page and see if you can add an artifact. Before you can add those artifacts, we need to upload them. So that's the next step in the process. Uploading the documents, they refer to them as artifacts or items. So just kind of keep those words synonymous. This is going to look really ugly in this screen, only because it's designed to be a portfolio, but I'm scrolling just quickly to get us to the point of what do we do once we've built the shell. So we've added our pages. We've adjusted the naming. So again, you guys see how I was a little bit concerned, am I naming it appropriately? Because I anticipate there may be some nitpicky colleagues who may see this and wonder, what's the revised essay? So if we have to change it, we can come back and change it. Okay, but once the shell is complete, we talked about that. We talked about changing themes. Sorry, you guys, I don't mean to make your head hurt with this scrolling. Let me go back to adding or using the course results. Oh, this is just dreadful. Let me download the presentation. Hold on, let me stop share. All right, my bad. Let me pull it up this way. For homework, did you guys get to go through the entire presentation? What did we review in preparation for today's class? Did we look at the whole presentation? Or did we just kind of get through parts?
Part.
I looked at the whole presentation.
Yeah, we should be looking at the whole presentation. All right, you guys. Because the information, even though I'm walking us through it, it is really on the student. So it is really going to be on you guys to make sure it's right, to make sure that, it's in and appropriate. And when a person clicks on a page, they're seeing your document. I will not be able to do that for you. So really familiarize yourselves with the steps, because you have to know it. Again, with an assignment that is 30% of your grade, any errors in me clicking on a page and a document isn't there, or any errors of any document or the wrong document being posted, it can affect how your portfolio is scored. So I see.
When are the portfolios due?
They're due, what did we say, week 14, before you guys leave for Thanksgiving break. So that is, no, what did we say, November 23rd? I think we talked. Hold on, I'm pulling up my calendar. So we'll meet on that Tuesday. So next week, we have next week to work on it. We'll be working on it next week. And then we have that class on Tuesday before Thanksgiving break. So that class on Tuesday is when students are turning in the reflective essay. And turning it in means not only are you submitting it on Brightspace, but you guys will also be adding it to your, my dog is barking. You'll also add it to your eportfolio shell. Okay, so what we're doing this week and what we're learning now and next week is what's going to facilitate the final submission on Tuesday. So I said the 23rd, but let's say the 24th. That's that Tuesday. Our last class meeting before Thanksgiving is when you guys are submitting your portfolios. And because the portfolio will depend on or include the final CRT essay, we will be taking the essay, not the essay, the exam itself this week as well. So it's both the CRT and the ePortfolio submission on week 14. So make sure you guys are kind of writing that down. If you wanted to, maybe let's say get anything in early just to kind of make sure that it's right, I'm okay with that as well. But in addition to the portfolio, we still have that CRT portion, to complete. So not only, again, are you guys submitting the portfolios that week, you're also completing the CRT. So week 14 is CRT assessment week. We're just going to make that assessment week. So you guys will have that whole week. Well, not the whole week because we don't have class on Thursday. It's a holiday. That whole weekend is also Thanksgiving holiday. But before we go on that holiday break, students will have completed the CRT and they will have submitted their ePortfolio. So what we're doing now to work on it in preparation for that week will help to make it a tad bit easier. All right, let me show my screen. We've worked up to together, you guys, those of you who are going to go back in and review and study the presentation. Slide 11 is kind of where we pick up. Okay, hold on, let me share my screen. So if you missed any of the previous parts of setting up your portfolio, naming your pages, selecting a theme, making sure you include your class and student ID number in the banner. We've worked through that already in those first 10 slides. So we're about halfway through. Next is going to be adding the items, okay? And before we can add them to our portfolio, we have to add them, add them to the pool of artifacts. So you guys see how when we clicked on add components and it gave us options of artifacts with learning objectives, etc. And when we clicked on artifacts, there was nothing there. We first need to go in and add those items to the pool of artifacts. And then from there, we can add them to the components or to our portfolio pages. It may sound a little bit daunting, but it's really easier than it sounds, okay? So we'll do it next week. Because I don't know if I want to hit you with too much right now. We'll start it on Tuesday together in class, okay? And if you, let's say for instance, those of you who may be moving or reading ahead, because I heard you, Rabia, say you got all the way through it. If you, now that you got your pages set up and you've kind of see these steps on your own, because it walks you through it step by step. If you want to go in and add your diagnostic, get a head start on that, do so. Because that's where we'll kind of pick it up next Tuesday, right? So again, they walk you through the steps. You'll go back to that home page. Instead of clicking on ePortfolio, you'll go to My Items. And then from there, we're going to start to upload those items. You can either go from File Upload. Maybe you save those documents on your own computer. Maybe you have those documents saved on a flash drive. But by clicking on File Upload, it'll allow you to select the document in order to add it to that page. So you can from file upload or course results. Now, here's the catch with course results. Anything you've submitted in the class, it will be saved under course results. So where you submitted your diagnostic writing, right? That'll be saved under course results. Where you submitted your first draft of essay 1, that'll be saved under course results. So those documents is what you'll need to add to your portfolio. So you can come here to course results, and then it'll, look, I clicked on it like it would do it for real. But when you click on that, it will lay out all of the documents you submitted in that course. So from there, you can select to add it to artifacts. So again, we'll do this on Tuesday, but anybody who wanted to get a head start on it, practice it, kind of go in, play around. It walks you again step by step with it. We'll do it together on Tuesday. Okay, but definitely read this all of the ePortfolio presentation. It's in your module, so it is required reading. Okay, so make sure you guys are doing that. So we'll pause here. Oh, Giselle, you asked me, did you get that, Giselle? And when you asked what was the third one, look, I'm just
Yeah,
seeing
I
that.
got it.
Okay. All right. With that, the reason I didn't want to add that revised essay 1 again yet is you guys, I think, need to have a little bit more time to, based on the new rubric that I've updated and the new feedback, I was very intentional in stating, make this correction before you add it to your portfolio. So go in and look at that information and look for, what did she tell me I need to make sure I change before I include this in my portfolio, okay? Once you make that change and you save it, then no problem. You can go in, you can add your first draft of essay 1, and you can add your revised version to that particular page, okay? All right. Yes, Sam, that's fine. You can stay with me after class. We can work that out. All right, so moving on from this, but not moving on from the final assessment week. So you guys heard week 14 is the CRT and what I call ePortfolio submission. Now, we do not grade, and when I say we do not grade, I mean, as a department, the English faculty does not grade the ePortfolios until week 15. So the reason I'm asking you guys to submit it week 14 is so that I can look at it and make sure there are no hiccups, no problems, nothing missing, so that before it's graded week 15, you'll have an opportunity to make any adjustments that won't necessarily hurt or penalize you for the scoring process. So please make sure you guys are submitting it week 14, because that will be my opportunity to test and make sure, okay, green light on this portfolio. Okay, wait a minute. You added a document, but I don't think that's a document you meant to add here. I will be able to give you guys a little bit more feedback and instruction. So week 14, jot it down in your calendars. If you're going to miss any days, do not miss that one day we are meeting on Tuesday of week 14. That is the day that it all goes down. Shall I say that? That is CRT day. That is, I know, and in me even saying that, it sounds daunting. We'll talk about. And the only thing then, and again, I see Caesar says scary, not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to think of what's the best way to administer it for me. So if you see the look on my face, it's just, how am I going to do, stay with them to do the portfolios and leave them time to complete the CRT. So that's just me working that out in my mind. Don't put that on your shoulders. That's on me. to figure that out. So we'll work that out, but just know week 14 is assessment week. All right, before we get out of here, let's do one last thing. The journal entry number 4, where I'm kind of using it now to help us break down the reflective essay assignment, attempting to break it down into manageable pieces, because with every other paper you guys have written in the class, you have had an opportunity, first of all, to choose between 4 and 5 paragraphs. This assignment, there is no option. It is 5 paragraphs. So the planning and preparation for that, I want us to kind of take that serious. And also, just like with other papers where you've had an opportunity to give feedback on it, find out what you perhaps may need to work on, this reflective essay is kind of taking the training wheels off. Now that we've done that, now that we've talked about the process and what you need to look for in your writing, okay, now let's see how you do it. You know, now in getting this paper assignment, you take yourself through those steps. You write your first draft, you take a look at it, you assess, you know, is my thesis there? Does my body paragraphs work to support and develop that thesis? You look at your draft, and then from there you make any revisions or improvements yourself. And then you, on your own time, you'll revise it or improve it before submission. But it's removing the instructor as a resource. And it's kind of, again, like I stated, kind of taking the training wheels off and seeing what the students can do in terms of essay development and reflecting on what they've learned in the class. So it's a 2-part assignment, but the goal is to see what the students can do when taking themselves through the writing process. So I'm eliminated in terms of catching your errors and letting you know, oh, you want to change this, you want to fix that. And it's up to you guys to do it with this paper. So even though I know I will still be, if you wanted me to take a look at your paper, I'll still take a look at your, you know, we know this. But the expectation is you guys won't be able to submit a draft and then resubmit a revision. It'll be kind of you doing it all pretty much at the same time with the time we have before its due date. So try not to wait till the last minute to start thinking about that or preparing for it. And the journals, I think, is what can help us with that. So I pointed out for the first, or not the first, journal 3, where you guys were asked, in what ways have you grown and developed as a reader? Really great responses that I can easily see, oh, okay, the student has identified a specific way or an area that they've grown in. And for some of you, you included a discussion of how or why that particular area, you know, was helpful in you growing or improving. But you guys are already starting drafting, let's say, that body paragraph from that journal entry. So I want us to take that same energy with journal entry number 4, and where I asked the question, in what ways have you grown and developed as a reader? Today, you guys are going to be brainstorming or journaling, in what ways have you grown and developed as a writer in the course. So hold on, let me put it in chat. So you guys know my, oh snap. What did I hit? You guys know that my options with the journals is a paragraph minimum. And for the most part, you guys are good with the paragraph, but some of us, we're getting real skinny with these paragraphs. 2 sentences, that may be half credit entry, because that's clearly not a paragraph. Nowhere is 2 sentences considered a paragraph. So I would just simply say it doesn't meet the requirements of the assignment. So really make sure you are writing out a paragraph that answers the question, in what way, and I say in what ways, but since we're dealing with one paragraph, you can discuss one way that you've grown and developed as a writer throughout the semester. So when you are thinking about this question, just before I set you guys loose on Penzu, in thinking about this question, keep in mind, nothing is off limits. So you can think of and talk about anything that has helped you to improve and grow as a writer. So whether that is the writing process, whether that is your understanding of the thesis statement, whether that is the opportunity to revise, whether that is something that we've learned in class. Like, there's many ways to approach, how you've grown and developed as a writer. So as we're kind of getting these ideas out on paper, explore that. Think about the writing skills you had coming into the class, where you were, what anxieties you normally had then, and now think about where you are now. What's easier for me now that I maybe struggled with previously? What do I have a much better understanding about now that I maybe didn't understand on day one of the class? What helped me to arrive at that understanding? What steps did I take, right? So go there in your thinking. And the good thing about the journal is I'm not grading it on errors. So you can just really get it all out on paper. So let's take, I'll say 15 minutes, and that's just where I'll check back in. If you still need to write beyond that, that's fine. But let's take about 15 minutes to start our journals in Penzu. So you guys will go to Penzu. You'll label it as journal entry number 4. And you are responding to the question, in what way or ways, if it's plural, have you grown and developed? In what ways have you improved as a writer throughout the semester? Think about day one and where you are now. Think about what you struggled with and what tends to come a little bit more naturally now. I can tell you guys have grown. I can see it even in your responses to the Sandra Cisneros essay question. Some of you guys went right into intro mode. You summarized the text, you presented your thesis, and then you use that to help you outline and write the rest of your paper. I saw it clearly. So what this document does, what the reflective essay does, is it allows you to articulate that growth. The growth is obvious, it's evident in your writing. It'll be clear in whoever will see your portfolio, but this paper will allow you to talk about it, to discuss that growth and development. So take a moment to think on it and then write on it, and make sure you guys share it with me before you head out of class. So let's take about 15 minutes on this. I'll come check back in. Yes, ma'am, Giselle. And you can type it if you can't speak. I know sometimes you are traveling.
Oh no, so I had a question. You said that we can add like the Sandra Cisneros essay onto it.
You can use that in place of the other essay, because what traditionally I had planned for is that essay number one, revise, what you guys wrote, which article motivated you the most. But when I saw some of the essays that you guys turned in with the Sandra Cisneros text, I think we have some good options to choose from. So let's say, for instance, if you, and I'm just in listening to your question, you had a really good Sandra Cisneros.
Yeah, I feel like that one was stronger for me, so I
Okay.
feel comfortable putting that one instead of the other one. So I was wondering if you can look at it
Yes.
and take it over so I can edit that one. Yeah, because I like that one way more than the first one.
Okay, good. I think that's a good idea, Giselle. Hold on. So while you guys are working on your journals now, I'm about to go check it out, and I'll add some feedback and some information there. But when you do add it, Giselle, you know that you'll put it, which I think you put it in a separate document when you submitted it. You did add it as a separate document, didn't you?
Yeah, because
Okay,
I
good.
put it on a computer. I have a Mac, but I don't know why, but it doesn't give me Microsoft Word. So I just do all of my assignments. I do them on Docs.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, that's fine. So yes, you can use that. I'm going to it right now and giving any feedback. And in that way, you can use the weekend to make those revisions and improvements. And that way you would have a first draft to add to your portfolio as well as a revised version. So that's a good idea.
But we're gonna add both of them on the revised sample essay.
Yeah,
Part.
they want to see both. The reason why they want both, but there's an emphasis on revised, is because they want to see what improvements you made to your first draft. So they will want to see my feedback, what I added to that first draft, and then they will want to see if your revised version articulates that feedback.
But how would we add it with the like comments or feedback you write onto it?
Because when I grade it and comment in Brightspace, it saves it in Brightspace. So where we will be adding these documents or files to your ePortfolio from the course, what did it say from the options? I think it said course files or course documents. Anything I've done in that course in Brightspace with feedback, it will show up when you add that document to your portfolio. So it's recording my feedback.
Okay, I think I got it. And then exactly where do we have to go to do the journal?
Okay,
I
you go
heard
to
the
yeah, you go to Penzu. Let me put it in the chat, Giselle. Penzu.com. Now, a while ago around midterm, we set this up together. So you should have a Penzu account that you go to in order to complete your journals, and then you share your journal with me. So I get an email of your journal submission.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and let me know if you have any questions in the process.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Does this have to be multi-paragraph? You on mute.
The journal expectation is 1 paragraph. Oh, Julian, give me 1 second. Let me add it back. Do you see that, Julian? The question is, in what ways have you grown and developed as a writer throughout the semester? It's 1 portion. And you would answer that kind of thinking about it first in at least a paragraph. Now, MJ, if you had more to add, like, don't let me limit what you would say. So if you need to add more, you can add more, but I don't think it would need to be another paragraph, because technically we're drafting or brainstorming on this particular body paragraph. So it wouldn't be anything longer than a paragraph. All right, so the way that you share, hold on, I see you, Caesar. Let me go back. Well, actually, on your screen, where the journal is, there should be like 3 dots to the right of, I think, the heading up top. Hold on, let me try to pull it up. Let me share. Hmm. Hmm. What do I do? I think, do I need to add something? Okay. So there'll be these 3 dots here, Caesar. Let me do my annotation. So you got these 3 dots here. You'll click on it. You'll click share. Then you'll add my email address in order to share. So I am A Osborne here. Let me add it in chat. Let me check Rabia. Uh-oh, I did that wrong. Okay, so you guys see that. Okay, Rabia, let me check my email and see what I have. Oh, I got a lot. I have Jacob's, I have Jamia's, Julian's, Rabia's, Sam. I know you're sending it, Caesar. Anybody who hasn't sent it, that's fine. Just make sure I get it in order for you to get credit for it. But we're good. Like, I'm good. I don't really need to hold you guys for anything.
Wait, what was your email again? I'm
It's,
sorry.
do you see it in chat?
Yep, thank you.
So you guys just get that in so I can kind of give you credit. Go and make sure you are reading and reviewing the ePortfolio presentation. Anywhere where you can get a head start, work to get that head start. But as we again will be working through the steps together on Tuesday, it'll help you guys having that knowledge by kind of taking a look at the presentation, the PowerPoint, and how to add those certain items submitted through Brightspace to your artifact page so that we can then add it to our ePortfolio. So don't forget to look at that. Don't forget to complete the sentence types assignment. It's 8 questions. All you have to do is just let me know what you identify the sentence as. You can email that to me, whether you type it in the body of your email or you add an attachment. It's up to you, but feel free to email that to me. And lastly, this week and next week, we are working on polishing up our paper. So go and look in revised essay 1, where you submitted that. Look at the new rubric, new grade. I've included feedback. Whatever feedback I added, maybe I told you to change something, change it, save it. And that's what we will use as your revised version when we add it to your portfolio. Giselle, I did notice what you pointed out about feedback. With you submitting the PDF, you may have a hard time seeing my feedback. Did you see the feedback previously from your first draft?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Okay.
Where like on the bottom where it's like comment 1, comment 2.
Oh, so on the rubric, you saw the feedback on the rubric.
No, I saw it on the doc.
You did? Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it alone then, because I went to it and I've added my notes, but I just didn't see them, show up. So
Do you want me to send it a different way?
no, here's what I'm doing. Because I started this already. What I did was I downloaded your PDF and added the comments. So I'm adding the comments separately. So I will do what I've done in Brightspace, but also have that download version. I'll email it to you just as a backup, just in case you can't see anything.
And then I was also, so when we're doing the add component, we just do the artifact? Or where do we
Yeah,
go?
but first, before we go to artifact, we have to add the items there. So
Yeah.
before, yeah.
And then I was gonna ask if you can check. I think I did turn in my diagnostics, but when I look at it, it just says allowed completed one, but then like when I try to find it, like my rating, it doesn't come up. Is it not supposed to come up anymore?
It is, but I'm glad that you are telling me that you don't see it, because that's really good insight, because what I may spend the weekend doing is then going into everyone's diagnostic, copy and pasting it in a document, putting their name on it and sending it to you guys.
Yeah,
So
because it says attempt one, but then it doesn't even have a score. And then I press where it says attempt one, it says written August 27th, and it gives me the time I started and the time I ended and the time I turned in, but it
okay,
doesn't
but
tell
it
me
gives you no way of seeing. Sir, look, are you just starting classes? I'm sorry, Giselle. I lost my train of thought. Um, Look, I'm fussing. My son in remote learning. It is insane to me. But I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. With the diagnostic. Okay, good. Now that I know that, I will set up a plan B. Okay, so good. Okay, so I know that you guys are not able to access that writing. So
yeah, it
I'm
doesn't see it
going to
anymore.
copy and paste a Word document, and I'm going to email them to you guys. That's going to be our plan B. So I'll do that this weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, like it doesn't come up for me.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you went ahead and I have that insight, because I'm not able to see what you guys can see. So I'm glad you let me know that. So I'll fix it. I'll come up with a plan to help us add that document. All right, thank you, my good peeps. Appreciate your work and attention today. If you have any questions while you're working over the weekend on anything, let me know. Use the class number. Get an extra set of eyes on your papers just to kind of help you, so that when in your portfolio, you're submitting, again, that best representation of your work. Giselle, you'll get the documented feedback I put on your Sandra Cisneros text that you can work from. And again, if you guys need me, reach out. Okay. I'll see us all on Tuesday. Oh, let me tell you something else before you go. Look too on Brightspace this weekend, because I think I'm going to subvert the rules, and I'm going to send you guys that CRT essay. CRT article early. We're going to get that and read it and start our annotations and things like that early, because I don't want what happened with the midterm CRT to happen with this CRT. So that's something else I plan to add to Brightspace. So look for that announcement, you guys. The CRT article will be posted this weekend. I'm gonna say Friday. Oh yeah. So other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your.
I have a question.
Sure, Rabia, go
I
ahead.
have two questions. I don't for the Sandra that article and the motivation one. I don't know which one to like pick.
In term, I liked your motivation one more so in terms. Come on, so you don't set your clock. The 8 questions for homework. Yes, Julian, along with revisions. Any last revisions to your revised? Look at the rubric and see. But yeah. And of course, looking at the ePortfolio presentation. But yeah, Rabia, I like your motivation one. I think better because of the narrative, you know, kind of how you connected with what you read. The note that I added to your Sandra Cisneros. Now you can still make changes. It can still look at the notes that I put on the Sandra Cisneros, and you let me know what you think. But one of the main notes I put on your Sandra Cisneros was the question of should sons and daughters be raised with different expectations. I think you were trying to say like parents can, you know, give whatever expectation they want because they want what's best. But the topic itself is really looking at should boys and girls, should there be a different expectation for sons and daughters? So it's more so a focus on, are we raising girl children different than the way we're raising son children? And that is really that topic. And I kind of think with yours, you were keeping it more so with just based on the expectation of what the parent may want their child to succeed. And it's a tad bit different, the topic is, because they're saying, should sons be raised? Should sons have different expectations than daughters? Like that is the question. So if you wanted to revise that out more and explore it more, then I would say you can reconsider the Sandra Cisneros. But if you didn't want to do that, you didn't have to. And you can go with that education motivation, because I do think that's a good representation of your work. So it's up to you, but look at the feedback I gave and then kind of let me know what you think.
Okay, and then because yeah, I saw the feedback and stuff. That's why I was like, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, okay. Look, you were like, I saw the feedback, so I'm asking you. Okay, so my opinion would probably be essay 1. That's
okay, and then
Yes.
I wrote the reflective essay, and I was wondering, if I could send that to you.
Now say it one more time, because right towards the end of what you stated, Rabia, you started to go out.
I said I wrote the reflective essay, and I was wondering if I could send it to you too.
Yeah, go ahead, send it to me. And I can take a look and, you know, let you know if you're on the right track and kind of give any feedback from there. Sounds good. All right, now, Sam, I know you were waiting on me. Was there anybody else who needed to see me before we dismiss? All right. Well, you guys go ahead. Look, some of us have already started ducking out. That's fine. Look, I was trying to let us go a little bit early. So look, take your time, enjoy your weekend. Contact me if you need me.